Hello, and welcome to another edition of Sofa Saturday, where if I just haven't had time to prep a video properly and I just have to throw together a setup, this is what we do. You know, we hop on the sofa, change things up, and just try a few different things that have no association whatsoever with each other. Today it's just a bunch of samples that I've been looking for themes to do for a long time, and I haven't been able to come up with them. So what the hell? Let's just throw all the random things together. I have a brandy from Georgia. This is a 14-year-old. I have a little sample of a cognac, a VSOP from Dor. That should be good. An apple brandy from Somerset in England, a 10-year-old. And I have a Pechuga. This is the Diaz brothers Dark Matter coffee Pechuga, which is a limited release. But I got a sample of it, so let's try it. All right, I don't know what else to say about these. So I am joined by Fairbear, who is my daughter's favorite stuffed animal. He will be watching out for me in the course of this video. And, you know, we're just going to go. We're going to see how this goes. I'm not going to do my usual water adding thing. We're just going to hammer through these, and I'll give you a score as they start. So I've already poured them. All right, this first sample is a Georgian brandy. Eniseli, 14-year-old, bottled at 40%. Now, it is not actually all 14 years old, and the actual age range is something like, I don't know, 12 to 15, but they're labeling it as a 14-year-old. Now, I've had Armenian brandies before. They're actually pretty common. They come in these cool, weird bottles, and they're killer values. I have never had a brandy from their neighbors in Georgia before, but apparently, you know, very well regarded in the old Soviet Union. So let's stick our nose in and see what we got. The price on this, by the way, is insane. I've seen online, you know, the highest price I've seen for this bottle is about $18. So if this is any good, like, it's a steal. On the nose, smells like a brandy. Smells very cognac-y. Not as caramelly, and we'll be getting to the actual cognac in a little bit, but yeah, much lighter on the caramel, raisin, dessertiness than I typically think of a cognac as being, but otherwise we're getting those high tones. I would guess, I don't know anything about the production of this, but from the slight hint of floral notes coming through the wood, I would guess at least a large portion of this is pot distilled to a fairly high percentage, say the 70s, or, you know, somewhere in there. So we're getting a little bit of raisininess, a little dried cherry, a little hint of toffee, but really the overwhelming character is sort of European oak. I don't know if it's Quercus robur, which is, you know, typical the variety you get in Spanish oak, Lamazan oak, that kind of thing. But it's delivering a lot of those characteristics. You're getting dried fruit, a little black pepper, there's a little bit of like just straight grape candy in here, which I like. A little bit of like a kind of fruity, woody, smoky thing, like almost like if you soaked some hardwoods in grape juice and then kind of lit them on fire for your smokehouse, that kind of thing. I mean, it's a good balance between like a heavy wood influence and just a nice brandied fruitiness. I mean, for what, $18, this is a really good nose. The proof is definitely holding it back. A lot of this is in suggestion. It's not, the flavors aren't exploding out of the glass for me at all, but what's there is nice. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm still getting over my respiratory thing. It's not COVID. I got tested on the palate. Really good, actually. Not really, pretty dang good. So there is a little bit of dosage on the back end, but actually not very much. I was expecting this to be pretty sweet on the back end and kind of get kind of syrupy, but it really isn't. There's a little ding of sugar in there to kind of, but the effect is more just kind of rounding it out than actually making this any kind of sugar bomb. It's much less sugary than most of the sort of mainline cognacs I've had, for example. But again, mainline cognac is kind of my point of reference for this. Prunes, some figs, lots of dried, like different dried raisins. You're getting the good old sun-kissed, but you're also getting some golden raisins, sultanas, dried cherry. Quite lovely, actually. Old port is a note in this. Definitely like a really good vintage port that's been sleeping for a couple decades. Little hint of greenness in there, like some grape stems got included in the wash or something. White pepper on the palate this time, more so than black pepper. A little bit of a musty note, even like a kind of a damp attic after, like an old attic after a rainstorm, something like that. Nice wood tannins on the finish. Little oh, what is that? Something coffee, like a I don't know, like a sweeter, like a dessert coffee, something like that. Like you put a sugar cube in your espresso, that kind of thing. But that a little bit of dark chocolate also. Wood tannins in the back end. This is actually quite nice. It's not. Let me back up a little bit. This is not necessarily my style. I really wish this had a little bit more strength to it. And I really wish it was, like, the dosage was even pulled back a little bit more, even though it's not bugging me too much. But for a 40% brandy at a $18 price point, this is terrific. I would give this 83 points. Yeah, this is impressive, actually. Oh, by the way, some of these samples were sent to me by different people. This was from a trade with Krin on the aficionado Discord. And I guess we'll get to the others. Yeah, well done, Eniseli. Well done, Georgia. 83 points. Very, very nice. Let's move on to the AA Dor VSOP. So this is a fine champagne, which means they're only sourcing their grapes from the Grand Champagne region and the Petit Champagne region. So those are the only places the grapes can come from. VSOP meaning, so obviously has to be double distilled, as like all cognac, and has to be 4 years old in order to meet the VSOP requirements. So price-wise, I don't know exactly what a full bottle of this would cost. I would guess, given the producer's place in the market, this would probably be 50 to 60 bucks, which is a lot to pay for a 4-year-old spirit, but especially bottled at 40%. Did I mention this was bottled at 40%? So that's a little bit disappointing, but young cognac is in demand, so that's how it is. Much fresher on the nose. Much more explosive. It feels younger. The oak is much less in the way. It's much less. It's not rounding things out as much, but it's also not sort of holding back the spirit. This is much more floral, much more grapey. Much more desserty too, a little more carameled. It really smells like if you took a grape IHOP syrup. Do they make grape IHOP syrup? They have to, right? Take that, mix a little bit of like fresh flowers into there, and like nice flowers, like flower shop flowers. A little whiff of like a aromatic cigar note, like a double claro or something. A little green cigar smoke note. That's kind of most what I get. Like a little white tea, maybe more the leaves than the actual tea. Some milk chocolate in there as well. Overall, a pretty simple nose. It's very, expressive in what it's got, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of stuff going on here. If you actually pay attention, there's less of a range of things happening than with the little Eniseli, which is, worrying when you're paying 3 times as much for it. But let's see what it's got on the palate. I knew it was going to do that. So, much sweeter, much more dosed than Eniseli. Ooh, Jesus. And it is throwing it off. It does feel rounder in the mouth, well beyond its age, even more so than the Eniseli. But, I mean, the side effect of that is I have a hard time actually picking out flavors because this is so sweet and syrupy on the back end. Let's go with grapes, caramel, white chocolate, milk chocolate again. What else can I get out of this? Yeah, that kind of a not cigar smoke this time, more of a Balkan pipe tobacco blend kind of smoke thing going on there. Yeah, grapes, raisins, some figs. There's nice things. Milk chocolate, the floral note, fresh flowers, but also like some flowers maybe lit on fire to add to the smoky thing. There's actually quite a lot of smoke in here. But everything is just thrown off by the obnoxious amount of sugar in this. This is not my thing. I'm gonna say that in advance. There's a certain kind of drinker I feel like is really into this because it's sort of, I can feel it trying to coddle me. It's not, it's trying to, soothe me and remind me that, hey, no, I'm not a big bad spirit. I am, I'm a dessert thing, and that's not really my thing. Yeah, this is not my. From the nose, I mean, there's aspects of this that make me happier than something like a Courvoisier, a Remy Martin, anything like that. The flavors that are there are a little bit more distinct and interesting. I still don't like this. I would give this a 78 out of 100. And if you are a traditional cognac drinker, who enjoys your older cognacs, higher priced cognacs, go. I mean, seriously. Well, first of all, hello, thank you for watching my channel. Go hunt this down, this Eniseli. I mean, it's got enough of the creamy, rounded off, slightly sugared aspect to make you happy, but man, is it such a better value than this. That's a little bit disappointing. Okay, so now with a little bit of time in the glass, the A Dor is also evolving like a just distinct, like grape syrupy note, but even more so. I know I mentioned the IHOP thing before. Even more so now, it's just boiled down grape juice. Oh God. I do not really want to drink more of that. Let's move on. And now I'm worried that my palate is tainted. I'm gonna try the Eniseli one more time, just to make sure. just a better spirit. I mean, not necessarily, you're not starting with better basic materials, but man, are they just, presenting it better. And again, 40%, standard presentation. So we're at 83 and 78 so far, and the most expensive thing is losing at this point. All right, moving on. Third up, this is a sample I traded to get from Rachel on the Reddits. This is Somerset 10-year-old apple brandy. This is from Britain. And this is also not very expensive. K&L in California apparently sells this for under 20 bucks. So if this is any good, it's a buy. No idea what they're maturing this in. Apparently it's a mix of different, whatever casks they can find. I don't even know how they distill this. I would guess like it's a shorter style. It's a column still, but still like a shorter style of column still. That's what I would guess. Just from nosing this. So apple pie, obviously. Cinnamon, a little bit of like a sort of that sort of damp, not attic this time, more like a damp basement this time. Dusty, a little bit, little hint of like a potpourri kind of thing, just very light. Adding a little complexity there. Different kind of apples, cider apples, but also some dessert apples. Maybe some red deliciouses mixed in with some Fijis. And even a little hint of well, first of all, there's a little bit of like an old leather note, and I'm also getting like that the in Clear Creek apple brandy. I got a little bit of a peepee note. This is not as distinct as in that, but there is a little bit of a peepee note in this. That's those crazy, esters. They just do that sometimes. But I'm okay with that. It smells musty. It smells old. It smells nice and appley on the palate. Bottled at 42%. That extra 2% really, really helps this a lot. It's actually kind of bigger in the mouth than you would think, given the strength. Lots of ground pepper, apple and apple pie again, different kinds of apples. The cider apples really dominate on the palate, more so than the sort of dessert apples or the snacky, grocery store apples. There's a kind of graininess to this, weirdly enough. There is actually almost like a malty note to this. Yeah, that's very, like a little bit of a malted milk ball note. Lots of coffee too. Just not brewed coffee, more like ground coffee. So I don't know what kind of coffee, sort of Brazilian. Let's go sort of medium to darker roast Brazilian coffee grinds. Old Basement must, different kinds of oak, some very sort of dried fruity kinds of oak, some spicy, I would think European style of oak, but there's a little bit of American oak in there too, I think. There's some vanilla notes coming out. Little touch of toasted coconut in there. There's a lot going on in this for a, sub $20 apple brandy. I'm very pleased with this. I'm like okay, so the cheaper stuff is clearly murdering it on this Sofa Saturday. I like this. I would give this a good clean 84 points out of 100. Let me confirm that one more time. I'm enjoying. It's also just a chance to try it again. If you could complain, I mean, the mix of oaks might be getting in each other's way a little bit. It's not sure the wood statement here isn't entirely coherent, but for the price, this is an absolute steal. If you live in Cali and have access to this, go buy this bottle. Wow, 84 points. Yeah, the cognac is not looking good in this episode. All right, let's finish up with a mezcal. All right, let's see if I can remember what the heck this is. Sorry, I am pulling up information about this. All right, this is Diaz Brothers Agave. This is their Dark Matter Pechuga. So Dark Matter is it's a Chicago thing. It's a coffee place in Chicago that was very and I'm guessing this is some kind of collaboration. So it's a Pechuga. They're using chicken breast, but they're also going to throw in you know, I guess the base agave is Espadin, you know, copper pot distilled, and but we're gonna throw in our chicken breast, and we're also gonna throw in some espresso, some dark matter espresso, and some other stuff, cinnamon, I think, various spices to make this fun. Oh God, I can smell it from here. And that's what we got. It's an Espadin Pechuga with a ton of coffee and spices thrown in, by way of Chicago. Small batch. I think this is around $100, which is actually pretty reasonable value for Pechuga. Oh God, that is a very. It is not a subtle nose. Let me put it that way. This smells like coffee. Like it just smells coffee-like. Really more so than straight up a cup of coffee, or even like a cup of espresso. It smells like if you've ever made like a flourless chocolate cake, but mixed like a ton of espresso in there. So we're talking espresso flourless chocolate cake, like just a block of chocolate and espresso. This is kind of what that smells like. So dark chocolate. Coffee all over the place. Just not floral coffee, not you know, fruity acid driven coffee. There's no Kenya in this. This is like just serious, you know, robust, you know, coffee house coffee. And then, you know, off on the sides, a little cinnamon. A little mole sauce, black mole, obviously. What else have I got? The chocolate note is really intense on this, actually. I mean, the agave is way in the background. You can get it in hints, and like there's a little bit of a minty touch, like a fresh mint leaf touch. A little bit of like a stewed celery kind of touch too, like if you just kind of stewed your celery in a pan for a couple of hours. A little bit of that coming through in the background. It's also very mineral driven. There's like some, you know, like you crust some rocks and then like set them on fire, that kind of thing, like smoked crushed rocks. But really, it's dominated by coffee and chocolate, and that's okay. It's not subtle. It is not. Oh, did I mention this is bottled at 46%? So probably not still strength, but close enough. All right, what do we got on the palate? again. Okay, so on the palate, actually a little bit of a letdown. There's a lot of like chili pepper in here. There's dry. Well, not. No, wait, no. I was gonna say jalapeno, but it's a little bit sweeter than that. So we're getting more a Scotch bonnet kind of pepper effect. That sort of dominates the mouth. The coffee, the espresso thing is still there. The chocolate thing is still there. But weirdly, it feels a little bit hollow on the. It feels like there's nothing in. It's all those sort of side notes and those top notes and those bottom notes with nothing kind of in the middle there to kind of fill this out. Yeah, some cinnamon too. Those minty notes are coming right in. A little bit of a like a dried cucumber sort of note. The celery again. The minerality is definitely in play here, which I'm enjoying. A little smoke too. What kind of smoke? Just kind of like you set some dried grass on fire, that kind of smoke. Cinnamon, a little nutmeg in there. Really dominated by the Scotch bonnet and the coffee and the chocolate, to the expense of kind of the coherence of the experience. It just there's lots of fun flavors here. Okay, there's a few fun flavors here, which are very, very prominent and very, very big, and but they're not really hanging together in my mouth in a way that I'm appreciating. It's still delicious. This has actually kind of been my complaint with like a bunch of Pechugas that I've had. Not that I've had a whole bunch, but like they just feel a little bit hollow to me a lot of the time. Yeah, I would give this say an 82 out of 100. Let me try this one more time. Give it one more shot. The nose is great though. The nose is priceless. I mean, it clearly has a price, and the price is around $100 MSRP, but yeah, nice, fun, but still only, yeah, 82 plus. Let's go 82 plus on this, because it is fun. It's a novelty, but if you roll deep, and you collect weird mezcals, this is a fun one. I mean, this is if you want a mezcal to double fist along with your morning Joe, this is a great choice. But it's not really my thing. So this would be a pass for me. 82 points, 82 plus, sorry. So what have we got in terms of scores? The cheaper ones have clearly won. Not that anything is really spectacular in this episode, but if you see the Eniseli Georgian Brandy 14-year-old or this Somerset 10-year-old apple brandy, go grab them because they are good. Dor VSOP and the Diaz Brothers Dark Matter Pechuga, not really for me. That's kind of what I got. I can't think of anything else to say. Thank you for joining me on this Sofa Saturday, and cheers.